And we say good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Tom Diller Sports Show on day 11. There we go. That's a good way to start it. Horace, I like it. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Just fine. Back in the saddle. Gosh, couldn't wait to get back in here after Friday's show. We had a blast, and we're back and ready to go. And a full show today. Goodness gracious. We're going to be talking to Dave Ongie, Kingsport Times News NASCAR beat writer. Also, the Gator Man's going to have the quiz show coming up at the bottom of the hour. Bill Francis, the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indian girls basketball coach, going to be by to talk to us by phone. Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park's going to be talking to us. What's going on up on the mountain? We'll hear from Joe Gibbs, get the very latest on what's happening with Kyle Busch, who got a hard hit, obviously, over the weekend in the Xfinity Series race at Daytona. Also coming up here in mere moments, Joey Logano, the winner of the Daytona 500. And also we'll hear a little bit later on in the show from Kevin Harvick, your favorite guy, Junior, and your other favorite guy, Denny Hamlin. So the people you don't like did well. So let's track our teams over the weekend before we get going here. Let's see. You, as we have learned last week, do not like Junior. He finished third.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin finished fourth.
Boo.
Yeah. Reagan Smith driving for Kurt Busch. You're a Stuart Haas guy now, right?
I'm a Stuart Haas guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he finished 16th. Not bad. Not bad. And then Danica finished 21st, rolled off 20th, so she finishes 21st. And then your boy, Smoke.
He did not have a good weekend.
0 for 17.
But he's not in the hospital.
No, he's not in the hospital. You're right. Let's see. Guy.
Harvick now, he came in second.
Yeah. Harvick finished second. Stuart Haas Racing, defending points champion. And so he finishes, look there when I put those glasses on. Everything.
You can see now.
Becomes more vivid. Yes. Harvick finishes second, Junior third, Hamlin fourth, JJ fifth, Casey Mears, Clint Boyer, Martin Truex Jr., Casey Kane, Greg Biffle, rounding out the top 10. Boy, that was a need for Roush Fenway Racing. They needed somebody. They're struggling over there at Roush, having lost Kenseth and Edwards back-to-back years, and Biffle brings them home a top 10 finish, which is something to build on going to Atlanta. My guys, the other two guys I follow, of course, Matt Crafton driving for the injured Kyle Busch, finishes 18th after Busch got the car in the fourth spot to get it started. And I don't think he did too bad. Top 20. Mm-hmm. Craftsman Truck Series driver, a groomsman at Kyle Busch's wedding. They're great friends. And it was interesting. I listened to him over the weekend, said he was driving down the road, leaving Daytona, and his phone started blowing up. Beep, beep, beep. It's like, congratulations, you're going to be driving Sunday. It's like he thought it was a joke, a prank, because he'd not heard about the wreck. And so then soon Toyota called him and said, are you ready to go? And then more importantly, Joe Gibbs Racing. J.D. Gibbs called him and said, guess what?
Get down
we need you Sunday. Yep. Make a U-turn. We got to fit your hiney into the seat, make a seat to fit you.
It wasn't until that morning they finally got the car prepped for him.
Yeah. So obviously the whirlwind, and with that all being said, he finished 18th, not too bad. Trevor Bayne, my man out of Knoxville, finished 30th. Not where he wanted to be, obviously. And then the other guy I think is really going to be good in this sport, Kyle Larson, got caught up in the wreck and finished 34th. So you mentioned Smoke. He only went 72 laps but made $300,598.
I'll do that.
Finishing 42nd.
I'll do that every day of the week.
Your winner of the Daytona 500, $1.58 million. Now, wonder how much that does he get himself?
Yeah, the team has got to get a portion of that.
Yeah.
Driver gets a portion of it. The crew gets a portion of it. I don't know. I guess it's all in whatever contract he has.
Second youngest winner of the Daytona 500. The only younger winner was Trevor Bayne, who did it back in 2011. Logano is only 24. His ninth career win, his sixth win in the last 2 years. So all of a sudden, we talked about this last week. I asked you, I said, you think Logano is on the verge of being a superstar in this sport? And you accurately said last week, I think he's going to be. Lo and behold, little do we know.
He wins the 500.
He wins the 500. So Penske, of course, his second Daytona 500 win. Ryan Newman got him one earlier in the decade back in 2008 in that Dodge. And so, as a matter of fact, there was a Ford sweep over the weekend. Tyler Reddick won the truck race on Friday. Ryan Reed, first ever win for Roush Fenway Racing on Saturday in the Xfinity race. And, of course, as we know, Logano won the Daytona 500. Yeah. First 500 in 15 years that no Busch brother was in there, which is interesting.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Kurt Busch thing, by the way? He went to 3 appeal processes, and I just knew that last process, the last appeal, he didn't have a snowball's chance.
I hate to say it, but courts have information that we don't have, and these judges make rulings on what they have in front of them.
Yeah.
So the totality of the circumstances dictated that he ruled the way he did, and because of the way he ruled, Kurt's now sitting at home and not running in a race car. So.
But he went through the three processes. First NASCAR said no. Then he went in front of a three-person board, and they said no. Then the last one was this, I guess, some kind of a guru, kind of the absolute last stop, and he also ruled, said no. We're going to set you till we find out.
Well, there's so much controversy out there right now with domestic violence in the sports world. NASCAR's not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
No, you're right. We're going to hear from Logano coming up here in just a few minutes. Today's show brought to you by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, Max Medicine Mart, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, Vito's of Kingsport, Cherokee Barbershop, Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, Wells Fargo, the financial folks in in Kingsport, our good buddies Tim Colvin and Greg Taylor and Natalie Wells and Jeff Bedford, and also my buddy Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. Again, the Big Easy, and we always appreciate these folks being our sponsors, and we've got more coming, and we're awful proud of that as well. Had a good weekend. Hope you did as well. Lots going on in the sporting world. Let's tell you real quick about the high school basketball scene. Already a cancellation in. Again, the schedule's courtesy of the Kingsport Times News.
Say that again. Another cancellation.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Science Hill, South Doyle girls tonight in Johnson City canceled. Knox County Schools out of school today, so the director of Knox County Schools said South Doyle's not coming to play today, so they'll do it tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Science Hill. Dobyns Bennett will talk to Coach Francis coming up here in a little while. They'll play on the road at Jeff County tonight. Tall task for the Lady Indians. Crockett's ladies will go to Morristown West, even a taller task tonight. This is single elimination this evening. Crockett at 10-19, Morristown West at 27-4. DB's ladies are at 20-11, but Jeff County's ladies 23-7, and they can play. So DB is going to be trying to play the spoiler tonight. And then at Tennessee High at Viking Hall, Morristown East at 18-14 will be taking on the Lady Vikings of Tennessee High at 21-10. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. That's in AAA. AA, the Elizabeth and Lady Cyclones, defending state champs, at home tonight against Claiborne. They're coming a long way to take one, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, 11-17 they are. They're coming all the way up here from Claiborne County to take one.
11-17
against the defending state champs. So bless their hearts.
Oh,
Unicoi County 17-14 will play at Chucky Doak tonight against the Lady Black Knights, who's 16-10. All these games are still on, as we know. Happy Valley at 20-10 will go to Granger at 24-5. Happy Valley at 20-10. That'll be at 7 o'clock tonight. Greenville's ladies 21-8 will travel to the Dyer Dome to take on the Sullivan East Lady Patriots at 20-12 at 7 o'clock tonight. That's in AA. Then in single A girls play tonight, you have Hancock County 5-17. At South Green.
5-17. How'd they get in the playoffs? I guess they got hot right there at the very end and won a game.
There you go. One of those five apparently had to be in the district tournament. They'll be at South Green, the number 5th ranked team in the state for the ladies in single A, 25-5. Cloudland at 10-17 tonight at Northview Academy, who's 11-5. Only played 16 games, unless that's a typo. North Green's ladies tonight, 22-10 at Cosby, 22-5, and the Hampton Lady Bulldogs will be at home tonight at 17-11, hosting Washburn at 10-18. Single elimination, and so the winners move on. The losers will be eliminated. Again, I go back to what I said before the show started. I don't know how they play games when the school's out. I know some of the county systems are out again today because of the snow and the ice on the back roads, but only one we know for sure is not going to be played tonight is South Doyle at Science Hill. They'll play that tomorrow night at the Topper Gym in Johnson City on the campus of Science Hill. As promised, here he is, the Daytona 500 champion. Again, young man who, again, as we said, had a heck of a run, nailed down his 9th career win, his 6th win in the last 2 seasons. Again, here is the second youngest winner ever, the Daytona 500, Joey Logano, and his reaction to winning.
Who won the Daytona 500?
Waiting to find out.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got our winning team here. And that is the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford for Team Penske. Driver, Joey Logano. Team owner, Roger Penske. And crew chief, Todd Gordon. And congratulations to everyone over at Team Penske, Walt and Jonathan and everybody at your organization, your second Daytona 500 victory. And just a terrific day for your organization, a terrific race for us here today. Joey, how's it feel to win the Daytona 500?
About as cool as I thought it would feel. It's, I think as a kid, any young racer dreams of winning the Daytona 500. It's the biggest race we have all year, and you're down here for 2 weeks, and there's so much build-up coming into this race, and with the qualifying and the duels, and you get out there. This is first time you race in a couple months, so there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of nerves before the race, and to be able to pull that car into victory lane and see my team there and see my family and my friends. Like, everyone was here, so it couldn't be any better. And it's an amazing feeling. I can't really put it into words. It's something that just you can't describe. I keep reliving over and over again what it was like down the back straightaway. And I came off of turn 2 there, and I was looking in the mirror, and I saw him crash, and I'm like, okay, keep my foot in here, and you hope there's a caution, but I think even that they weren't close enough to really be able to make a run. And you have a split second after the caution came out, and you think about it, and you're like, did we win? And then it's just straight chaos after that. It's just an amazing feeling. I'm so fortunate to get the race for Roger and Shell Pennzoil and Todd Gordon over here. He's a freaking man. So I'm just the lucky guy that drives this thing.
Yeah, that's Joey Logano bringing home the checkers, and gosh, the sentimental favorite, the guy everybody's kind of pulling for and led a lot of the race, was the old senior driver, of course, Jeff Gordon, making his last Daytona 500 start, and he led a great part of the race. Got back in the pack and got caught up into some banging and bumping, and got knocked out of the chance to win the race, which I was kind of pulling for him, to be honest with you.
I watched the race at least the last 100 laps, and the beginning of the race, then the last 100 laps. In the middle there, I'm going to tell myself I took a nice long nap. Because it was a boring race. I hate to say that. The middle of the race was kind of boring.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you got I know what they're trying to do. They got restrictor plate racing at Daytona. But all they do is you got 28 cars basically in a pack going round and round and round and round and round and round. They have a few lead changes, but that's it. Unless there's a big, melee. I mean, before long, you get hypnotized and you go to sleep.
Which you did.
Which was what I did.
Yeah.
Now, the last 100 laps,
you woke up.
I woke up, and the last 20 laps was outstanding. But Jeff Gordon, going back to Jeff Gordon, I think there at the end he had a car. He finally got it back to a point where he had a chance to win the race, but he was like 3 rows back, stuck in the middle, and he could not move that car toward the front. Everybody was jockeying for position, and if you're not in the first 2 rows, you're not going to have a chance. And he wasn't in the first 2 rows there in the last few laps. And then, of course, he got pushed back, and then they had the little wreck there at the end and knocked him even further back. But I think he had a great car. He just it was just unfortunate luck.
At one point late in the race, when it started getting a little dicey, you had him coming down the back, all the way around, going 3 wide.
Oh, yeah. I think
like 5 and 6, 7 rows back. I mean, it's boom, 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 boom. It's like 3 wide.
Yeah,
I thought,
for like 10, 12 laps.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, you've got to be kidding me. 3 wide?
See, for those who've never been in a car going that speed, and I haven't
200
either,
miles an hour, 3 wide.
And it's from me to you.
Yeah.
And we're talking bumper to bumper, 3 wide, rocking and rolling down the speedway. I mean, it's pretty incredible. When folks say these guys aren't athletes, and lady, in Danica's case, they're nuts. You've got to be an athlete to do what you did and what they did. And then you look at Kyle Busch, lawsuit, you think? What do you think is going to happen? Because obviously Daytona, Joey Chitwood, the president, came right out right after and said, hey, we in essence messed up. We're going to fix this immediately and put the safer barriers. I think I read where it's $800 a foot is what they had to, what's going to cost them. But,
well, it's going to cost them a lot more, I think, than $800 a foot now.
Exactly. Now you have to wonder, because, see, nobody's really saying, we're going to hear from Joe Gibbs coming up here in a little while, but how extensive, is that the right word? Not extensive. Well, yeah, how extensive is the injury to Busch compared to Tony Stewart? He had a compound fracture, so obviously what I've been asking people about, that means probably a bone was sticking out or something. It was a very serious wreck. Plus it broke his left foot. Now, his left foot got operated on back in December for something that happened last year. So here's a guy that's got right foot, clutch, gas and brake, left foot clutch, hit that wall head on 100 miles an hour. So my question is going to be, he's not going to go back 100%. Nobody does after going through that. So
well, Stewart's still recovering.
Exactly. So how tough is it going to be for Kyle Busch to come back and race and be I wouldn't say a shell of his old self, but he's not going to be the same guy.
He will be a non-factor till late in the season. And if he comes back, like I said, Tony's still – I mean, you can't compare the same injuries to be identical because they're not.
Right.
But they're similar, and he's going to go through the similar type of rehab. And my guess is he won't be the same driver, at least not this season.
Yeah. My point was with the Tony Stewart comparison that he's still not back 100% and probably never will be.
No. But Tony had a good run there at first of the race. Yeah. He looked more like himself. So I'm anxious to see how this season pans out for him.
And one thing Joe Gibbs said in his interview, too, which a part of the interview that we won't be able to hear today, but we'll hear from him about his status. But he was talking about how the safety of the NASCAR rides is, if you look at it, this guy hits his wall head on at 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's just like, boom, with no protection. He said, and nothing from his waist up got hurt. That's how safe the cars are. He said, wasn't he? Neck, arms, shoulders, chest, none of that got hurt, just his legs. And his legs are bad enough. But Joe Gibbs was praising the safety of the NASCAR rides. He said, at the end of the day, when all things are considered, these guys are going, and Danica going 190, 200 miles an hour at Daytona. He hits that wall going 100, and all he gets is that. He said it could have been a whole lot worse. Of course, Joe Gibbs is the eternal optimist, and he got a little I was impressed. He got a little shaken up when he was talking about Kyle Busch. He said, I just told him, he said, I'm not apologizing. I told him going into surgery, we love you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty strong.
Well, Gibbs is a class act.
He is a class act, yes. And whether you like Kyle Busch or not, a lot of them don't. When something like this happens, in my mind, if you have any kind of compassion at all, you kind of go, timeout. He may be this, he may be that, but here's a guy that's in tough shape. I mean, he got out of that car. You saw him laying out there in the grass. I mean, he was in a world of hurt, and obviously so. So, again, Joe Gibbs is class. And again, in a tough situation, he praised NASCAR for saying, you know what, things could have been worse with my driver, and he's right. So it was an interesting weekend. We'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll check in with a guy who follows NASCAR. That will be our buddy Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer for the Kingsport Times-News. He'll come back and join us coming up. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, we are now on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher. Did I get all right? Of course, right now we're on livestream.com. Right. Simply type in The Tom Taylor Sports Show.
And we are now podcasting through Tunein Radio.
Boop! Tunein Radio.
We have 5 venues. There's no excuse for you not to find us.
Yeah, and people are. You told me over the weekend we had. Now, we call them viewers or listeners or both? How do we call them?
Well, YouTube and live stream are viewers.
Okay.
Everybody else is listeners.
So, out on the left coast in California and Washington State, were they listening or viewing?
They're listening.
All right, they're listening. So, hello to California and hello to Washington State. Quick break. I'll be right back, and we'll come back and tell you our Bible verse of the day because the show is dedicated to the man who hung on the cross for us, and we'll tell you the Bible verse. Also, coming up, the thought of the day. You like this one.
Yeah.
You like all of them, but I read it to you and said, whoo, I like that one. Give me that little whoo. So.
Well, it just puts me in one of those mellow, deep moods every time you come out one of those things.
Before we go to the break, I got it. Tell me what woke you. You said you were snoring. You kind of dozed off. What woke – did Mississippi wake you up? Did the dog barking wake you up?
When? What
roused you during the race yesterday? You said you nodded off for a little R&R. What brought you back?
I don't know. It was a Sunday afternoon. Had lunch and watched the race.
Heat's on.
Doze off.
Got logs on.
I think it was the dog.
Okay.
I think he decided he wanted to go outside.
Tebow said, get up, Dad.
Yeah, take me out.
Got you. All right. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll find out what's going on in the NASCAR seasons. They head off to Atlanta through the eyes of the man who covers it every day, our buddy Dave Ongie, the Kingsport Times-News, as you watch the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know to update your coverage when adult children move home?
Oh, heck no.
Or that you could get coverage for identity theft through your homeowner's insurance.
And that your valuables can be covered by home insurance even when they're not at home. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Oh, I'm watching a pro over here. He's got 72 knobs and 14 switches, and he does it flawlessly most of the time. Our buddy Horace. We're back again with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's go to the ponies. Our buddy Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer for the Kingsport Times News. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Just fine. Appreciate you checking in with us every Monday at this time. And this guy's a pro. Let's get started. The Daytona 500, Gordon led a bunch, but at the end it was Joey Logano. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, it was really interesting. We've kind of watched Joey Logano over the last year or so kind of grow up before our very eyes here. He was a guy that everybody expected a lot out of when he got into that the seat of that 20 car over at Joe Gibbs when he was 18 years old. And, you know, he even admitted yesterday he just wasn't ready to be a Cup driver at that point. You know, you got to build some toughness, you got to build some ability, and it looks like now he's ready. He won a lot of races last year. Of course, really tough performance by him at Bristol last August. And then he comes into the Daytona 500. He didn't have the best car in that race, but all the other drivers, you know, they conceded at the end that he was the best driver. He was flawless. He was able to keep that car he had out front and wound up winning the race as a result.
9th career win, 6 wins in the last 2 seasons. Would you put him on the plateau now as a NASCAR superstar? We're talking about Joey Logano.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to call him an elite driver at this point. You know, he's had his run-ins over the years with Denny Hamlin, and even Denny Hamlin yesterday, who doesn't like Logano all that much, admitted, you know, this guy now is an elite driver. He's completely different than he was before. He's had all the seasoning he needs, and he's ready to go out there and get the job done. You know, I think last year at Bristol, Brad Keselowski, his teammate, you know, wound up saying, you know, he saw that performance at Bristol, which is a tough track, toughest on the circuit, in my opinion, and said, you know, right now you have to look at Joey Logano and say he's a title contender. You know, this race and this night and the way that he performed shows that he's ready now to do that. And obviously what he did yesterday at Daytona just backs that up.
Well, again, we're talking to Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer of the Kingsport Times News. The guy's not squeaky clean, obviously, but he seems to be pretty hospitable chap, a nice guy to be around. Why would people not like Joey Logano?
Well, you know, the thing about it is I think early in his career he was too nice to be around, and I think that kept him from being as competitive as you have to be. He just wasn't, you know, he wasn't rough and tumble enough to go out there and really mix it up and win races. And I think that's one thing. He kind of started standing up for himself over the last couple of years, and as he did that, you know, especially he had his run-ins with Hamlin, he's had his run-ins with Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart over the years. And once he kind of quit flinching, you know, and got a little tough, you know, that kind of irritates the other drivers out there on the track, because you take his ability and then take his willingness to kind of mix it up and drive rough when he has to. And he's a guy that's going to be really hard to beat. And, you know, that's going to, when you're a tough competitor like that, you're not going to be as likable, and drivers are going to see you as a threat, and it kind of changes the way they view you. But I think that's also just part of the evolution that we're seeing in him becoming a contender to go out and win pretty much any week. You know, in any race, you know, Logano's going to be a threat. You're going to have to beat that 22 car. And when it comes time to win a championship, I think he's also going to be in the mix for that.
Talking to Dave Ongie, our NASCAR beat writer of the Kingsport Times News, now being heard on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher. And also make sure you like us on Facebook, and you have over the weekend, thank you, at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. All right, so you moved past Logano. Other folks that you felt like had a good run yesterday at Daytona?
Well, I thought obviously Jeff Gordon in his last 500 there had a strong car. You know, he got caught up in that wreck at the end, but as you mentioned, he led a lot. When you look at what was going on out there, the Gibbs cars obviously suffered a little bit. Matt Kenseth got caught up early in that accident. You know, they didn't really contend as much as I thought they would, so that kind of cleared the stage for the Hendrick cars. You know, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a great car. Same thing for Jimmy Johnson and you know, like we mentioned, Jeff Gordon. They really ran up front and were really, really strong, and that's just more of a testament to Logano that he was able to find a way to beat them, because for most of the day they looked like one of those three cars were going to be able to make it to victory lane.
You take a look at Roush Fenway Racing, again, a group that needs something good to happen. They've lost back-to-back Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards. I thought Biffle bringing home a top 10 finish at number 10. I thought that was a nice shot in the arm for a team that needed some positive this weekend of the first race of the season.
Yeah, and really it was a good week, or good speed weeks down there for Ford. You know, Ford's won a lot of races when you look at the Xfinity and the trucks and everything, and the way that they ran down there, and that's a big shot in the arm for them. Like you mentioned, Carl Edwards leaving, the fact that he was leaving just showed that there's not a ton of confidence amongst the drivers out there that Ford's going to be all that strong. So, you know, I think it was important for them to go to Daytona and have a good week, and they did, and that'll be a shot in the arm for them. And I think that Roush Fenway group, you know, they're kind of notorious for falling behind sometimes and getting behind the competition, but Jack Roush always winds up rolling up his sleeves and finding a way to get back into the mix and get back in there and start contending for race wins. So, yeah, definitely for Biffle, he's the unquestioned leader of that team now. And for him to be able to go out there and get a top 10, that's a good shot in the arm for them heading into the season.
NASCAR beat writer of the Kingsport Times News, our dear friend Dave Ongie, joins us every Monday at this time, and we appreciate him. First time there was not a Busch brother in the race for 15 years of the Daytona 500. First off, your take on Kurt. Do you think we'll see him back this year? What do you think is going to happen there? And then, of course, roll right into the very tragic situation that happened to Kyle Busch.
Yeah, you know, it's I think with Kurt, you'll see him back, I would imagine, some point this year. Obviously, everything from a legal standpoint at this point will have to play out. I don't see them reinstating him until there's a verdict in the criminal trial, if that winds up coming to pass. You know, they're going to be really careful with that one, just following the lead of the NFL and everything they ran into last year with the whole Ray Rice situation. You know, they're going to be cautious. They're going to keep him off the track until all that resolves itself. So, you know, turning to Kyle, it's really interesting that situation, that they would have that part of the track without the safer barrier, given how many crashes we've seen over the years that have wound up with cars skidding across the grass and getting into the wall there. But, you know, I applaud the people at Daytona for stepping up and saying, you know, starting today, they're putting in safer barrier anywhere that there's exposed concrete wall. From my understanding on that track, there's going to be a safer barrier there to keep something like that from happening again. You know, for him, Kyle Busch, they say there's no date on his return. You know, that injury that he had was pretty bad. It's fairly similar, from what I understand, to what Tony Stewart suffered, and that injury still has him limping around, and some would argue he's not the same driver as he used to be. So it's not going to be a quick fix for him. They're going to have to find a solution and find somebody in that 18 car for a really good portion of this season until Kyle's ready to go again. So
Reagan Smith came in 16th for Kurt Busch, and then, of course, you had, Matt Crafton finished 18th for Kyle Busch. So you think Crafton will be the guy they'll go tap on the shoulder for this week in Atlanta?
You know, it's really hard to say. He's a veteran driver. You know, we were all kind of talking about that, some of us motorsports writers, the other day. There was no clear-cut driver, especially on short notice, to get into that 18 car. There just weren't a lot of drivers out there with experience who also had ties to Toyota. You know, the brands are really important in this deal. It's hard to get a guy that drives a Chevy in one of the lower series to jump up and drive a Toyota in the Cup Series. They kind of frown upon that, you know, just because of the affiliation. So, you know, Crafton, just given the fact that he's a veteran, he's a guy that you would look at as a good possibility. It's hard to say which way they're going to go. They might tab a younger driver, maybe from the Xfinity Series that's running well, or it's hard to say if he's a long-term fit or not. But, on short notice, he was the guy they went with, and I'm sure they're going to meet this week and try to come up with something long-term with a driver to replace him for a good part of the season.
What about Regan Smith? Do you think he'll stay in the Kurt Busch ride for a while?
I would say so. Regan Smith's one of those guys that it seems like, there have been a lot of babies born in NASCAR lately, and it seems like whenever there's a Chevy driver whose wife is expecting and they may have to miss a race, Regan Smith's always the guy that throws on the fire suit and is there as a potential backup driver. So, he's a guy that's obviously really respected. He's run really well in the Xfinity Series over the last few years. And, really as you look forward, especially as uncertain as that situation is as to when Kurt's going to come back, I think Regan Smith is probably a really solid choice for them.
Got him for a couple of more minutes. Want to hit him with a couple of more questions. I'll let him go. We're talking to Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer. We talked about who did well. Look here at the bottom of the pack. You got four guys: Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Brad Keselowski, and Tony Stewart had terrible days yesterday in the Daytona 500. How does that set? Is that a one-time thing, or does that set the table for the rest of the season?
Well, it's really when you look at what happens there at Daytona with the restrictor plates and all that. It's really hard to look at the performance in that race and say, well, that's going to carry over to the rest of the season. But at the same time, those guys back at the shop and everybody involved with the race teams have been working all off season with the dream of coming in and running really well at Daytona. So for them to have a rough day like they did, especially when you look at Kenseth and Stewart, who had really strong cars and wound up getting caught up in a wreck early in the race, psychologically that just kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails. And I think as they look ahead, moving to Atlanta this week, those are two teams that are going to want to have a good run to kind of put that behind them to keep from getting into a downward spiral where the guys at the shop are down, the guys at the track are down, and the drivers start to feel a little bit of doubt as to what kind of season it's going to be. They really need a good run this week, I think, to get their confidence back up.
Kyle Busch would love to come back into Vegas. I'm not sure he can be back on his Vegas track. That's his home track, of course. That's where he's from. In my mind, I keep thinking he'll be back. His return race will be April the 19th, the Food City 500. That may be a chance to give him a chance to get mended up and get ready to race. And hope he gets back as soon as he possibly can. I don't want to see anybody miss a lot of downtime because of injury. And, of course, Kyle Busch is probably his biggest fan or one of his biggest fans. But moving ahead, we've got this weekend we're going to Atlanta. Harvick won the pole last year. Casey Kane fought him off and won the race. Heading to Atlanta, is it Kane's race, or you look at Logano? Who do you see as a favorite heading to Atlanta this weekend?
Well, obviously Logano is going to be tough all year. Brad Keselowski is going to be tough. I think when you look at those speedways last year, the Penske cars were really, really tough to beat. Penske's and the Hendrick cars were kind of battling back and forth for a good portion of the season last year. So you need to look at Keselowski and obviously Logano first there, and then of course you have Gordon and the whole crew over there at Hendrick who have run strong as well. Who are going to be in the mix. And certainly even though the Hendrick guys didn't win the race, they certainly got off to a strong start this week. They had a good performance. They're going to be feeling pretty good. So it's going to be interesting to see over the off season which of those teams was able to get better and improve a little bit more than they were last year. This will be a good measuring stick to see which teams are going to be the strong teams as the season unfolds.
Could talk to him all day long. He's awesome. Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer with the Kingsport Times-News. Thank you, my friend. You do an awesome job. Stay warm, keep smiling, and I'll talk to you next Monday, all right?
Good deal. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, good man right there. This guy is awesome. Again, Dave Ongie, the NASCAR beat writer for the Kingsport Times-News. Appreciate him very much. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We thank you for being with us. As promised, let's go now and hear the very latest, again, from Joe Gibbs. Of course, the man behind the name, Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, in his stable is Kyle Busch, and we'll get the latest from him about his status of his injury and going forward, when can we see the return of Rowdy in the race car. Here's Joe Gibbs.
Joining us right now is head coach Joe Gibbs, owner of Joe Gibbs Racing. And, Coach, certainly our thoughts and prayers are with Kyle and the family and certainly everybody over at JGR. And I want you to know how the communities, NASCAR communities, rallying behind y'all. And obviously we'd like to get an update from you if we could.
Yeah, I'd love to. First of all, I want to say what really impresses you at a time like this is the NASCAR family. And last night, our drivers are intense competition. All the race teams are intense in competition. Yet when something like this happens, last night it was just an outpouring of spirit, prayers. We had drivers coming by last night while we were at the hospital. We had NASCAR officials, everybody coming by. And certainly I think that's one of the most impressive things about our sport, and the way we adjust to things and the way we rally behind people, particularly when you have a situation like we had last night with Kyle. I'd like to address a couple of things with him. I think I talked to him before surgery, and then we waited until after surgery. Kyle, be quite truthful, was kind of lighthearted, joking around with me, talking about wanting to get back in the car right away before surgery. Afterwards, the doctors came in, and Sam stayed there and with Kyle last night. And for us, I waited there to get a report from the doctor. He said everything went very well. And so they took the major portion of what they did yesterday was his lower right leg where the injury was. They took care of that. They're going to wait on his foot, his left foot, and it remains to be seen kind of there what the situation is, but that'll probably be taken care of. They said there's not a rush on that, and that we would probably be dealing with that in Charlotte with Dr. Anderson.
Kyle Busch again and being talked about by the owner of the team, Joe Gibbs, and so worked on the right foot, got it repaired, compound fracture, and so the left foot will be attended to. He had surgery back in December on the left foot, so they'll be taking a look at that and getting some more observation when he's ready to fly back from Daytona back up to Charlotte. And I don't guess they're going to drive him back. I'm sure they'll fly him back up and then get him in there to see Dr. Anderson, check on that left foot. So this sounds like it's going to be a while. Yep. It's not going to be an overnight fix. I mean, he went through a pretty, as Dave alluded to, as we talked about it before we got a hold of him, similar but not totally like Tony Stewart's, but he's still not 100%. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Kyle Busch comes back after this tough injury. But, again, the left foot will be taken care of and looked at when they get back to Charlotte. So, obviously, the primary is to get that right leg fixed and satisfactory. They can fly him back home to the Charlotte area. So, there you go. Quick break. We'll be right back. Again, our Bible verse of the day. Quiz show's coming up next. Oh, yeah. Here's your Bible verse of the day, Psalms 121, 1-8. Look up. Your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. I will not let your foot slip. I will watch over you day and night. I will keep you from harm, both now and forevermore. How about that, horse? Is that pretty strong?
Yep.
Help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. Made the whole enchilada. When he says, I'll help you, who more do you need? I will not let your foot slip. I'll watch over you day and night. Says you're going to help you. Going to watch you 24/7. I'll keep you from harm, both now and forevermore. Our Bible verse of the day, Psalms 121, 1-8. The Gator man. Now, you've already said the last 2 times on Mondays I've won. So you said they've been kind of sissy softball questions, so we're going to see if Gator's taking your lead.
Well, is he asking the questions again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to see. You were down and got your hair cut the other day, and I guess you chewed on me a little bit. So
yeah, I chomped.
Wasn't a chew, it was a chomp. So now I'm a little nervous to see how we're going to do on the quiz show. We'll find out how Gator does with me and I do with him coming up next on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store. Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
That's a grown man doing whatever this thing.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's bad.
Do the windshield wipers. There you go. All right, we're back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. One of our great sponsors, the Gator Man from Cherokee Barbershop. Not only today has he been fluffing and folding, but he's been actually cleaning the barbershop today. He's closed. We're back open tomorrow, Tuesday through Saturday. Good afternoon, Gator. How are you?
It might take the rest of the afternoon to clean up my mess.
But you're spiffing and you're spit shining. Is that right?
Well, I don't know if spit shine's the right word, but I'm spiffing.
You're spiffing. All right. You had our man in the chair last week. True or false, he fell asleep while you were cutting his hair and shaving him and doing all that. Did he fall asleep?
Yeah, that was questionable.
No.
It was real close.
Oh, he was right on the edge of dozing off, huh?
He had the REE of the REM sleep.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, that's the great thing about a shave and a haircut. It's so relaxing.
There it is. That's exactly right. Cherokee Barbershop closed today, open tomorrow through Saturday. What are the hours you're open, my friend?
Tuesday through Friday is 8:30 to 5, and Saturday is 8:30 to 1.
Never asked you this, but there's a ton of barbershops, mom and pop barbershops all over the area. What separates you feel like Cherokee Barbershop from all the XYZ mom and pop competition?
The Gator Man.
There you go. Enough said.
Customer service.
There it is, customer service, and they do a great job. Again, put them towels on your face, that old-fashioned shave. Now, Horace was telling me some of the places use a disposable razor, but you don't use the straight razor. You use the real deal, right?
I use a straight razor. There are quite a few that still use the old Gillette for a shave, but you can do that at home.
There you go.
Now, I haven't seen him bring out the leather strap yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to sharpen that blade.
Sharpen the blade.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's hanging on the chair, but he hasn't acted up enough to bring that out.
I love it. Oh, that's good stuff there. All right, it's time now for the quiz show. Let's play that magical quiz show theme. Here we go. It's good stuff. I love this theme. Horace picked this out. There you go. That gets us. Oh, yeah. Brought to you by American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program on West Market Street in Johnson City. Also by Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. No pressure. I won Friday. Or no, you won Friday. You won for Pete Tackett. So that's our third winner on our Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance scoreboard. Quiz show wins number 3. I've got 2 of those thanks to Gator. So here we go. Let's see if we can get another W today. We're playing for Phil Hensley. Works at the Johnson City Press and one of our Facebook friends. So we're playing for Phil today. So here we go, Gator. Give me question number 1.
Question number 1. There are no animals that eat bees. True or false?
Eat beans?
Bees.
Bees. No animals that eat bees. True or false? Oh, man, what a way to start. No animals that eat bees.
I know the answer to this one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All right, but I don't know if we got the rule book out where you can help me yet or not.
Nah, I'm not your lifeline with Gator.
All right. Oh, I'm on my own with Gator.
That goes back to the Gator and Horace days.
There you go. No animals that eat bees. I'm going to say that's. Let's see there. Say it again one more time. Rephrase the question.
There are no animals that eat bees.
I'm going to say that's false.
You are correct. There's one that it does. Do you know which one it is?
I have no clue.
Okay, it's skunks.
Skunks?
My dog eats bees. Don't give me that.
Yeah, I know. I've seen my dog when I was a kid eat bees. Or at least.
Well, maybe not on a regular basis, put it that way.
So skunks eat bees. All right, I'm 1 for 1 for Phil Hensley. Here we go. Number 2.
The most visited city in America is New York City. True or false?
The most visited city for tourism is New York City. True or false? Wow. I know a lot of people go there. Of course, I would also argue maybe, what would be the second one? Maybe Chicago. Most visited city in the United States is New York City. I will say that is true.
It's false.
Oh.
Las Vegas is number 1. New York's number 2.
Vegas. Oh, hit. Okay. All right. Question number 3. Sorry, Phil Hensley. Question number 3.
Okay. The larger a chili pepper is, the hotter it is. True or false?
Larger the chili pepper, the hotter it is. Larger the chili pepper, the hotter there is. I would say that is false. I don't think it makes any difference.
That is true. It's just opposite. You're right.
There you go. Woo! 2 for 3, but no cigar. All right. Question number 4.
Okay. Ian Fleming of the James Bond fame, the writer,
Yes, sir.
also wrote the book Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That is true.
That is true.
There you go. Boy, that's stupid trivia. How would I know something like that? All right. 3 for 4. Let's see if I can finish strong here.
Okay. Mean Joe Green of the Pittsburgh Steelers was the first NFL player to be on a box of Wheaties. True or false?
That is false.
That is correct. You're right.
There you go.
Do you know who the first one was?
Walter Payton. Did I get it right? The late Walter Payton?
The late Walter Payton. You are correct.
There you go. So what got me? That stupid New York City question. All right.
Hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I love it.
The most visited city in America is not New York, it's Vegas. I'll be doggone.
There we go. Most visited city is Vegas.
All right. No, you act like you knew that. You already knew that? You knew that. You're sitting over there. I could have won Phil Hensley.
I said
you knew that.
No lifelines with Gator.
Wow. How about that, Phil Hensley? I'm so sorry. You could have gotten some help from my buddy. But no, they left me out on that slippery slope by myself. Gator closed today, ready to go tomorrow. What's your hours at the Cherokee Barbershop?
8:30 to 5.
Tuesday through Friday. And what are you on Saturday?
And Saturday is 8:30 to 1.
8:30 to 1. Tell me where you're located again.
2700 South Rome. We're right next to Tip and Haynes Farm and right behind Labor Finders on South Rome Street.
There you go. When the barbershop pole is out, you're in, right?
That's a good way to see it.
When that pole's out, Gator's in the house. So there you go. Hey, thanks for letting us sponsor you, or you sponsor us. Thank you for letting us promote you, I should say. And thanks for the quiz show. 4 for 5. We'll try it again next week, all right?
We'll do it.
All right. Have a great day, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
All righty. Great job again. Stupid question. That was a stupid question. Most visit, and you're over going, well, sitting back. He's sitting back, well, he's sitting, cranked back over there like, yeah, I knew that. Did you really know that? You know Vegas?
I would have guessed Vegas over New York.
So I would have guessed Chicago, because I know a lot of people love it.
What's in Chicago?
Oh,
bunch
man.
of wind.
Oh, boy. That'll get Wyman a reaction to that. I know a lot of people go to Chicago, but I know a lot of people go to New York, too.
I lived outside Chicago for a while.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. Wheaton, in Wheaton.
Wheaton, Illinois?
Yeah.
All right. And you were there for what reason? College?
College at DuPage, up there, junior college. Went up there for about 6 months. And we won't go with that. That's all you're going to hear.
That's it. Yeah. I can tell you, if you're up there for 6 months, that was not a good experience. You came on back to
Actually,
mountains.
I was up there for almost a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You came roaring back.
Roaring back.
Well, did you have your Buick Skylark then?
No.
Okay.
I had a Ford Pinto. Again, someone stole the CB antenna off the back of it.
I love it. You might be a redneck if you're driving a Ford Pinto, and they stole the CB antenna.
Yeah.
What was your CB handle? What'd you go by?
I just listened. I didn't talk.
I find that hard to believe, that you didn't talk on the CB.
I don't even remember what my handle was. I really don't know. Those were days gone by, man.
A CB antenna off your Ford Pinto. What color was your Ford Pinto?
White with black stripes. And I had a sunroof in it, too. I put a sunroof on it. I was went from a Buick Skylark
to a Ford Pinto. Now, was that a chick magnet, too, in Illinois?
No, it was
no.
No,
I wouldn't think that would be one that the ladies.
But it was economical.
Yeah, that was the bottom line. He went down the road, the girls didn't go, wow, who's that hotster in that Black and white Ford Pinto with a CB antenna that's missing. That's great.
But I had my tunes.
You had your tunes.
I had my first cassette deck.
Oh,
went
to
from 8-track to cassette.
I love it. Went from 8-track to cassette. And
I had one of them power boosters with the graphic equalizer with the flashing lights up under the dash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they all kind of
Pioneer deck speakers in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was rocking.
You've been a gadget guy from day one, haven't you?
I have been.
By the way, stand up and show them your wrist. You got to see this right here. This is his newest toy.
There we go.
There
I'm Dick Tracy, boys and girls.
Tell them about this. This is the latest, greatest that you can get from the local cell phone company you deal with, and tell me what this is all about. You have a wristwatch, dude. You showed me last night at church. You can
Samsung Gear S. It is a smartwatch,
right?
And it pairs up with my new smartphone because I was eligible for an upgrade,
right?
So I got the phone, and I saw that watch sitting there next to it. I'm going, Talk to him about it. Next thing I know, I'm out the door with my watch too. Now I can be sitting in Colorado, California, Wyoming,
West Virginia.
I could be anywhere, and my phone could be on my dresser, and I can still take and make calls and get my emails and send text messages. It's amazing.
Now, last night you did something with your camera because you were up there taking pictures on your.
That's secret.
But you had a camera.
I'm going to talk about that. That's secret stuff, man.
What meant secret stuff?
Yeah, I don't want anybody to know about that.
Well, I just told him, and anybody. I just told him that you can do your camera with your.
I can activate and use the camera on my phone using my watch.
On your watch.
Yeah,
you showed me that last night.
Pictures. Yeah.
Pretty slick. So my rule, I'm always going to be nice to Horace now because he has ways to tape me and shoot pictures. I'm thinking, Jiminy Christmas. So
I tell you, I can figure out a podcast of this thing. I'm going to be a happy camper.
Yeah,
I
bet think it will.
I bet I'll figure it out.
You can podcast our show on your phone.
I might be able to.
on your watch.
I might be able to. It's got a music player on it, so if I can download the podcast, I can play it.
Modern technology. And I'm over here going, this is what I'm doing, hitting these buttons.
A little slower.
Yeah, a little slower. A lot slower. This man's good. He knows what he's doing in the old tech department. All right, baseball news. Again, spring training is rolling along here. They've been in camp, some of the folks, a couple of days. Of course, when is the 24th? The pitchers and catchers could report voluntarily last week. Now tomorrow, Tuesday the 24th, everybody else can report voluntarily if you want to. Pitchers and catchers already in camp. Everybody else can come tomorrow. Then everybody has to be in by March the 3rd, which is a week from tomorrow. So 19-year-old youngster from Cuba. 19-year-old youngster from Cuba.
You were talking about this before the show.
Yoan, I should say, Y-O-A-N, but it's pronounced Yoan Moncada. Red Sox signing. Looks like he may get a $30 million bonus. Now, if I've read the story right, I kind of went through it quickly. Doesn't look like a guy shagged the first ground ball for the Red Sox. He's coming over from Cuba, 19-year-old phenom over there. And they've signed this kid and sewed him up with looks to be a $30 million bonus. 19 years old.
I'm telling you
Yoan
right now,
Moncada.
If that boy's worth $30 million, Daniel Norris got shafted.
There you go. Well put.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Yoan Moncada, 19-year-old, the Red Sox signed him out of Cuba, $30 million bonus. And, of course, he'll have to start in the minors and work his way up. But for that kind of money, he ain't going to sit in the AA or single A or triple A very long. They got way too much invested in him. And obviously the guy must be a heck of a talent. But
well, and if I was one of these players that came up, played college ball, and had to be drafted, and I worked my butt off, and it took me forever just to make $1 million. And here's this kid shows up.
Waltzes in.
He may be a fun kid to be around, but is he worth $30 million? There's no way. I'm sorry. No way.
No, that's a chunk of change, to say the least.
Prove himself, then we can talk about it. But blank check.
Untested right now.
You got it.
But a rich, untested young man. On the local scene, East Tennessee State baseball team swept a doubleheader, picking up wins over the Pitt Panthers and the USC Upstate team Sunday at the Upstate Classic in South Carolina. Bucks now 4-1. They'll play Butler this weekend at Thomas Stadium in Johnson City. You ever been to that stadium, the new ETSU
Only
stadium?
From the outside, but it looks neat.
Man.
Looks awesome.
It looks It is a primo stadium, I can tell you that. They've spared no expense, made it a very, very nice place. Also, the ETSU women's basketball team will look to continue its winning ways tonight. Heads to Samford. Again, they're going to be 19-8, 11-1 in the Southern Conference. They've wrapped up at least the number 2 seed in the basketball tournament, which begins next week in Asheville. And so the Lady Bucks again, are trying to get a big win tonight on the road against the Samford Lady Bulldogs in Alabama. So we'll see how that goes for the Lady Bucks. Again, reminding you, basketball tonight, one game has already been postponed simply because school was out in Knox County today. The South Doyle Science Hill Girls AAA quarterfinal regional 7 o'clock tip-off tonight has been postponed until tomorrow night. Also in AAA, we're about to talk to Coach Francis here in a few minutes from Dobyns Bennett. They play on the road tonight at Jeff County at 7 o'clock. Crockett's Lady Pioneers are at Morristown West tonight at 7 o'clock. Morristown East is at Tennessee High at Viking Hall tonight, also a 7 o'clock tip. And the Region 1 AA tournament, you have Elizabeth, the defending state champ, home against Claiborne. Unicoi County goes to Chucky Doak tonight. Happy Valley's ladies play at Granger, and the Sullivan East Lady Patriots will be at home against Greenville. All the girls' action tonight. Boys will pick up with action tomorrow night. And then also you have in single A quarterfinals, Hancock County. These are all elimination games tonight. If you lose, you're over, and if you win, you
one and done.
keep
Here
playing. There you go, one and done. Single elimination. Hancock County at South Green tonight. Cloudland at Northview Academy in single A. North Green at Cosby. And Washburn's ladies will be in Hampton to battle the Lady Bulldogs. All those games, as far as we know, are on, with the exception, again, of the South Doyle Science Hill game at the Topper Gym. That's been postponed till tomorrow night. We're right at the top of the hour. Got more coming. We're going to hear from Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin from the Daytona 500. They'll join us next hour. Also, Bill Francis, the head coach of the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians. He's going to join us coming up in a few minutes. Tall task tonight for him to go down the road and play the Lady Patriots of Jefferson County. I think it's almost kind of like a David and Goliath, but anything can happen when you play it on the floor. That's why you play it on the floor, not on paper. Also, Rob Cole join us from Bays Mountain Park, see what's happening up on the mountain. Our thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, real simple. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
Oh, man. That's
You like that? Deep. Yeah. Go ahead and say it again. Deep. Deep. I like it. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. That's real simple.
Yeah.
If you don't, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. So, by the way, I want to send out a big thank you to Randy Douthit. Randy's a local plumber. I can give you his number. If you're interested, you can text me or call me. Ran into a little temporary glitch.
Drip.
Had some frozen pipes for a little while, and I called him, and he told me how to fix it, and I did. In about 2 hours, pipes are unfrozen, and he gave me the remedy to make sure it doesn't happen again. So, Randy Douthit, thank you. And what made me think of that, because we got more cold weather coming, failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
There you go.
So we are not preparing to fail anymore. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail.
I bet a lot of coaches use that.
Yeah. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
And it's brought to you by Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. Let me tell you what he's got going on. How about this? Someone's identity is stolen every 3 seconds. Someone's identity is stolen every 3 seconds. Don't let it be yours. Protect yourself with the identity theft coverage from Nationwide Insurance. Comprehensive program is designed to actively prevent, detect, and resolve any threats to a member's identity. The way you prevent it, preventive services help members protect themselves from fraudulent activity. This includes online data protection software that helps prevent phishing and other online attacks. Detecting. Upon enrollment, Nationwide will monitor all 3 credit bureaus to identify issues as soon as possible. Plus, they provide real-time access to your TransUnion credit report. Members are eligible for a free online data protection suite, which is downloadable on up to 3 computers. And here's how about this one. When a Nationwide member does, if they do, become a victim of identity theft, they're assigned a dedicated recovery specialist who works 24/7 to assist with all phases of the recovery process. This includes an accredited doctor or nurse to help you manage and untangle consequences of the number one is medical identity theft. Didn't know that, so I just learned something. So anyway, when you go with the Nationwide identity theft coverage, if it happens to you, and they've got safeguards in place that won't happen, but if it does, they have a recovery specialist who will work 24/7 to assist just with you to all phases of the recovery process. Now, how do you do that? You buy a separate or add to a homeowner's policy, a Nationwide Insurance, so you can buy a separate policy for this, or if you're a homeowner policy already, you can add to that. It's called the Identity Theft Program, and our buddy Larry Kaiser can help you with that. 282-1389, or you can email him at kaiserl at nationwide.com. How about that? Quick break. We'll be right back. He's the thought of the day. One of our great sponsors, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. Come back with us. We'll carry on talking to Bill Francis, the head coach of the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians. Big game tonight for the Lady Tribe on the road to Jeff County. Also, as we said, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin coming up this hour as well. All when we come back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Here we go. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, get hour number 2. Make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, as we told you Friday, we're now on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
iTunes, that's pretty cool. Go up in the right-hand corner, search on iTunes, Tom Taylor Sports Show, and it's there. Go to YouTube and just type in Tom Taylor Sports Show, and we're there. Is that correct?
Right. And through Stitcher, as an app on your smartphone, you can download the podcasts and follow Tom Taylor Sports Show, and now on TuneIn Radio.
Yeah. And Friday you told me you had listeners from California and Washington State, right?
Yeah. North Carolina, South Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that? We got some listeners in Kingsport because right there we go with our head coach, Bill Francis, of the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indian basketball team. Coach, good afternoon. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Tom. Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you very, very much. You guys, or ladies in this case, have had a layoff. Getting ready to go down the road and play at Jeff County. Talk a little bit about the layoff. Folks may not understand how tough it is to be in a routine and all of a sudden, boom, come to a screeching halt for about 4 or 5 days. Tell me about it.
Well, I tell you, I've been. Of course, I was with Coach Morgan for 11 years prior to accepting this job, and I called him the other day and asked him. I said, Coach, you've been doing it a lot longer than me. Have you ever had anything like this? And he said, absolutely not. 6 days. Well, 7 days, really, since the last time. It was 6 days since the last time we played last Saturday. We finally got in and practiced Friday night. Couldn't go Saturday because we had that snow in Kingsport, and then we got in here a little bit yesterday. And, surprisingly, we were a little rusty, but not as bad as I thought. I think the biggest thing that, concerns me is a little bit on your offensive timing when you start playing against somebody else. And then the other thing is just conditioning. 6 days. If the girls did like me and sat around the house and ate, then we're probably gonna get a little winded there early tonight, I'd say.
Again, they go on the road. Again, it's the regional quarterfinals. It's single elimination, one and done. And so tonight you go to the highway to play at Jeff County. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Go back to the district game. I called the game where you guys lost a tough one to Tennessee High, and I thought couple of calls during the stretch of the game probably went against you and shouldn't have, but that's kind of the nature of the beast, I guess. Sometimes you get good calls, sometimes you don't. But you had a chance to beat Tennessee High and just didn't get it done, right?
Yeah, and I thought that we really competed that night. I felt like Tennessee High was probably playing, them and Science Hill playing some of the best basketball in the conference at the time. And, we felt like we matched up pretty well with them. And, some things didn't go our way, but we talk about that with the players a lot. You're either a player, a coach, or an official, and, you really can only worry about what you are. And I think maybe even myself there late in the game, I got a little bit caught up in what I couldn't control. And, sometimes those things go your way, sometimes they don't. What I was really glad to see was that we really came out and we competed and we had a lot of energy. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit concerned going to the tournament. I thought, I was suspecting, my gosh, maybe we've peaked a little bit early. I pushed them pretty hard in January, maybe a little harder than I should have in hindsight. And I thought, boy, I hope our tank, I hope we still have some in the tank. And I think that, we had a tough one with Volunteer that first night and pulled that one out. And then I was really excited to see. I thought we played with as much energy and, and grit as we probably were back there over Christmas break. So that gave me a lot of hope, and I think, restored a little confidence in the girls as well, that we still have something in the tank. And then, of course, came back against Crockett on Saturday, and I felt like we played really well, good team game, and, really clicked on all cylinders.
Talking to Bill Francis, again, the head basketball coach for the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians, on the road tonight at Jeff County. And, again, your first year as the head coach, you got him into the regional. That's quite an accomplishment, my friend.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, with a pretty inexperienced team coming in, of course, we have one of the best players in the conference back, which is always nice. Helps the first-year coach for sure. But, and our numbers are low. We've pretty much played with 8 kids since Christmas, and they've all contributed in different ways and really bought in to their roles on the team, and that's been exciting. At times I feel like, gosh, has this team overachieved? But then I don't know if we really have overachieved, or we've just been such a good team unit this year. And again, kids buying into your system is the big part of it. And they've really bought in and really tried their best to do what we've asked them to do. And it hasn't always turned into wins on the court, but I think we've been a team that's gotten better, each week, each game as the year went on, and that was exciting to watch. And this is a great experience for our younger kids, especially with only 2 seniors, getting into the region and them understanding the magnitude of, these type games, an elimination game tonight. I think a lot of these younger kids don't really understand that fully, so this will be a good experience for us.
Looking ahead also, am I right in saying the pipeline coming out of Robinson Middle School and Sevier Middle School, got some young ladies coming up that can help you in the years to come?
We do. We have some pretty good young kids coming in. Our middle school coaches are really doing a great job. They've been on board with what we're trying to do here. We've worked well as a team. They're starting to implement some of the things that we're trying to do up here in the middle schools. One of the things we've got is we've finally gotten a pretty good pipeline with some good youth sports. Some of the local teams. We've had some really good coaching in there that's helped these kids to learn how to play the game at a younger age. And, I'm excited about the numbers. Our numbers are down so much right now, and I think that, that's one of the things that we want to try to do is restore those numbers and get that interest back in girls basketball in Kingsport. And I think that, with what's going on in the middle schools and some of our youth leagues, I think that's definitely something that's exciting, and I think we're going to have some good kids coming up.
This gentleman, I talked to him earlier, he will promote his ladies anytime, anywhere, and I love that. Coach, tonight you go on the road, play Jeff County. You're at 20-11. Jeff County at 23-7. You go to Dandridge and scout this game tonight. What must Dobyns do to beat Jefferson County's ladies?
Well, I think a couple things we saw down there, especially the last time, is, they're very quick on getting the ball out off misses. And, one of the things we're going to have to do is make sure our transition defense is back there. We probably gave up 6 or 7 runouts the last time we played down there, and we lost a 6-point game. So I think if we can eliminate those, at least cut them in half. The other thing is, they're very well. Coach Center does a great job down there. I mean, they're well coached. They're fundamental. Their first 5. Now they're not very deep. They're kind of like us. They play about 8 kids, and the one thing though is their starting 5. Any of those 5 girls can contribute and step up on any given night, and that's what we've seen. So, offensively, they're hard to guard in a man-to-man. We're going to really have to be moving and jumping with the ball and, doing so those basic fundamentals we've worked on the little bit we could practice this week. You know, and then we got to keep them off the foul line. I mean, we put them on the line way too many times down there the last time. I think they went to the line 24 to our 8. So, you know, I think that really this ball game is going to boil down to the little things. They've been off too. So, you know, we're both going to be challenged. I think offensively our timing's going to be a little bit off. You know, defensively, you know, we're going to have to dig down there and get some stops. And I really think that we can compete. You know, I know probably not many people giving us much of a chance. But, you know, I really feel like we can go down there and compete and see what happens.
You do this often, by the way. Do you do very many interviews? Because you're awful good at what you do.
No, maybe. Some people tell me I just like to talk.
I'm telling you what, you're awesome. Very well spoken. Coach, good luck tonight. Go down there and knock them off, get a big upset, bring them back to Kingsport, and we'll be talking to you later on this week, we hope.
Hey, I appreciate it. I really appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All
Roll
right.
Tribe,
Roll
all right?
Tribe.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate him very much. And, again, head coach Bill Francis, the Lady Indians. At this point, again, I'm a cheerleader for our local teams, and it's just that simple. I make no apologies for that. So tonight, again, the South Doyle Science Hill game has been postponed to tomorrow night. Knox County schools are out today, so South Doyle, they're not coming tonight. They'll play tomorrow night. So I'm pulling for DB at Jeff County. I'm pulling for Crockett at Morristown West. And I'm pulling for Tennessee High at the Stone Castle. That's football. Hope they're not at the Stone Castle at Viking.
Tell you what, the way these basketball games are played anymore, you think it's football.
Man, good point. You're very physical games. Tennessee High tonight playing host to Morristown East. That's in AAA. In AA, I assume they're all on. Elizabethton will be at Claiborne. Unicoi County travels to Chucky Doak. Happy Valley travels to Granger, and Sullivan East hosting Greenville's Lady Green Devils. All that is again in AA, and then in Single A. I'll try here on this. Hang on here. Let me get Single A too. Out of fairness to these ladies, all the guys play tomorrow night. By the way, Hancock County at South Green, Cloudland at Northview Academy. North Green's ladies tonight at Cosby, and the Hampton Lady Bulldogs at home tonight to Washburn. Again, all the winners, as Horace said, one and done. Winners move on. Losers are eliminated from the season. So I guess tonight you'll pull out all the stops, roll the dice, I should say. Do whatever it takes to get a W, right?
That's what it takes. I mean, it's it. The season's on the line.
Yeah, that's it. You ain't no tomorrow, as they say. College basketball polls are out this week. Speaking of the ladies, big game tonight. Tennessee's Lady Vols go down to Columbia to battle the number 2 lady-ranked Lady Gamecocks, South Carolina. South Carolina coach is a little concerned because Lady Vols are starting to put it together. You know, the young lady, Izzy Harrison, got hurt, and so they've kind of rallied around her. And so the Lady Gamecock coach is a little concerned about the Lady Vols coming to town thinking, we may be in for a dogfight tonight, and I dare say they probably will be.
But when's the last time you can remember South Carolina versus Tennessee, and Tennessee was not the higher-ranked team?
Been a while.
That's been a while.
Been a while. So
I'm going to watch that if I can.
Yeah. Lady Gamecock on your big screen TV.
On my big screen.
Yeah. Now, do you let Tebow in and watch?
Yeah.
Tebow's in with
he
you?
Jumps up on the couch, sits there. He'll fall asleep, though.
It's like he's over. I love it. You're hilarious. What's the cats' names?
We got Tiger and we got Mellow. We call Mellow a little bit. He's smaller than the other.
Tiger, Mellow, and Tebow.
And Tebow. Now, Mellow is anything but mellow, though.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, yeah. At the horse house. Now, which one's the man-child kind of tease and get him going? Is that Tebow?
Oh, he's all over that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tebow. The man-child. That's his boy. He ain't a boy. He's a man-child. About 6'9", and what's he go right now?
Well, he's 6'6", about 220.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy. So, anyway, they're going to watch it tonight at the old homestead. Lady Vols and Lady Gamecocks from South Carolina should be a dandy women's college basketball game. Guys are out. The polls are out. No surprise here. The Kentucky Wildcats, number 1 team in the land, unanimous for the 4th straight week. Kentucky, Virginia, Gonzaga. Gonzaga, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
That's another one of Wyman's teams, isn't it? The Kentucky Wildcats?
Oh, absolutely.
Not
serious.
Now I know what's wrong with that man.
Serious number 1 fan of the Kentucky Wildcats. And his daughter's worse.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Katie Buggs is all over Kentucky basketball. Just mention something negative about UK, particularly hoops. Oh, it's like a switch immediately. Boop. It's on.
So she's the Mrs. V in the Wyman household. Okay.
You mention anything derogatory. A couple of years, I guess the last season, I got into a conversation with her in one of the football games about Calipari, just, the one-and-done recruit, and you watched her voice go up 2 or 3 octaves. Oh, yeah. Kentucky, Virginia, Gonzaga, Duke, Wisconsin, the top 5 this week. Just came out about an hour ago. Rounding out the top 10, Villanova, Arizona, Kansas, Notre Dame, and Northern Illinois are the top 10 teams this week in men's college basketball. We'll take a break, come right back. When we do, we'll hear from Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin from the Daytona 500 yesterday. Again, our thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, is failure to prepare is preparing to fail. If you don't have a goal, of course, the Boy Scouts motto is be prepared. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a system in place, it's very obvious you're setting yourself up for failure in anything you do. Basketball games, baseball games, you don't have a game plan. Failure to prepare, you just show up and say, we'll just do whatever. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Every day we come in and do this show, my man over here is on this thing about 35, 40 minutes before we go on air, make sure everything's set up. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, and this guy's good.
And you always think I'm snippy because I don't pay attention to you.
You're right. I remember talking to myself today. I said, hey, did you see where they signed Johan Moncada for the Red Sox? Uh-huh. I feel like we were married. It's like, okay. It's like,
No.
I'm trying to talk to him. You know how many times the ladies say, I talk to him, he never hears. I'm going, hey, did you know Logano, his 9th career win? Uh-huh. And he's over saying, okay, I'll do this. And I'm thinking, leave him alone. He's dialed in. Let him get ready for the show. So failure to prepare. We don't do that. We are on here about 45 minutes to an hour for each show, getting ready so we can give you the best show possible. And we'll do that coming up next. Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin in a row talking about the Daytona 500 on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that home insurance can keep your stuff covered even when it's not at home? Or that collisions with wildlife on the road may not be covered? And what if you didn't know you could be liable for any accidents on your property? The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, Bristol Live, coming to you very, very soon. It's getting closer, ever so closer every day. As a matter of fact, we'll crank it up and let's see. Races on the 19th. We'll pick it up 18th. That's on a Saturday, 17th on a Friday. The 16th we'll start our coverage. How many days is that, by the way?
For what?
Till we start our Bristol Live show from Bristol Motor Speedway. 16th day of April, and today, I'll figure it out. I don't want to embarrass myself on the air, but the countdown's on. It's inside of 70.
45, 47 days.
It's a little bit longer than that. It's inside of 60
31.
days. So.
Well, you got all of March, and then just 2 weeks in
All right,
April.
let's do it right now. Then we got, how many days left here?
31 in March.
Plus 5 this today. That's 36. And what I say, the 17th?
16th, 17th.
36 and 17, it'd be 53 days. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's close enough.
There you go. Close enough. So, anyway, we're not that far away. Bristol Live, we're excited about that. We'll be up the track for 4 days, bringing you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all kinds of information on Bristol Live. We're very, very excited about that. Also want to tell you about the good folks at Max Medicine here on our show. Max Medicine make tracks to max, and you do. Natural Factors, the entire line, 20% off, again, at Max Medicine through the month of February, which, as we said, they're closed, or actually they're open through Saturday, so it'll be 5 more days you can save. Natural Factors, 20% off. Also, they have the full line of water. They have the Good Food Grocery, which is the store within the store. It's the natural health food store inside of Max Medicine Mart, inside the 4 walls, store within a store. And they have all kinds of water, and they sell a ton of water. And as Dr. Walton will tell us, he did last week, how much we need to hydrate ourselves in the wintertime, maybe as much as you do in the summertime when it's hot, is to you got to keep the water going and hydrating. They sell lots of different types of water. Also, they have no cards over $1.99 at Max Medicine Mart. So make tracks to Max, and you do, and we appreciate that very much. And again, also the flu shots. Or if you're getting ready to head off from summer vacation, need to update your shots, they are your vaccination destination at Max Medicine Mart. You can get all kinds of shots. And of course, they're still doing the flu shots. We're not out of the woods yet for the flu, but the shingles vaccination, any kind of vaccination you'll need to update a passport to go traveling overseas, or maybe getting ready to do a mission trip this summer, want to get ahead of the curve and get your shot records updated, they can administer all those at Max Medicine Mart, again, on Center Street in Kingsport. Make tracks to Max, and you do, and we'll talk to Dr. Walton as you do every Wednesday afternoon coming up later on this week. Daytona 500, Joey Logano wins it. Coming in second was Kevin Harvick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished third, and Denny Hamlin fourth. So without further ado, let's hear from our second, third, and fourth place winners from yesterday at Daytona 500 on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Okay, what a race we just witnessed, the 57th annual Daytona 500, and joining us up at the podium right now.
A little bit of confusion right here.
Joining us up here now is our race runner-up, and that's Kevin Harvick, our defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion. He drives the number 4 Budweiser Jimmy John's Chevrolet. And then our defending race winner, driving the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Let's hear from Kevin first. Kevin, just talk about how you thought the race unfolded. Certainly, it was just one heck of a Daytona 500. Just talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. For us, it was a good, solid day to start the season. Obviously, you want to try to win the race, but sometimes you're just happy to keep rolling and going out of here and head to Atlanta with a solid day. So really proud about my team and how they handled the week and adjusted on the car and did everything that they needed to do and came out of here with a solid day. So I thought we were going to at least have a chance and back up to the 88 there and try to get to the 22 coming off of turn 4. But in the end, that didn't all pan out with the caution. So still a good weekend for us.
Thank you, Kevin. As I said, our third-place finisher, our defending race winner. Certainly he had a car that was competing again for the win today, and that's Dale Earnhardt Jr., driver of the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet. Dale, just talk about your run out there today. You certainly had a very, very strong race car.
Yeah, we did. I made a mistake there, but on that restart with 20 to go and just didn't do what I needed to do and got shuffled through the middle there. And had a fast car, was able to get some spots back and get a good finish, so pretty happy about that. But you don't get cars that good too often, so try to capitalize. And a little disappointed. Congratulations to Joey. He's certainly done a good job the last several years, and great to. I'm sure it's a great feeling for him. But and thinking about Kyle over there in the hospital, hoping he was doing okay, enjoying the race.
Thank you, Dale. And Denny Hamlin with a strong showing out here today as well. He came in 4th. He drives the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota. Denny, congratulations on a strong race out there today. Just talk about how you thought things went for you.
It went well, and really, all you can ask for is a chance. And really, when you start on the front row on a green-white checkered, you got a 50-50 shot. It's just a matter of whether your line forms up better than the other line, and ours just didn't form up well, and allowed the 22 to get clear, and really everyone on the top lane to get clear of us, and that was pretty much it. So, it was a good day though. We obviously came from the back and ran up front all day, so proud of our whole FedEx team and Dave for doing a great job, working together for the first time, and excited about the whole year, and obviously thinking about Kyle as well, like Dale said.
That's Denny Hamlin again. Kevin Harvick Jr. and Denny Hamlin again, 2, 3, and 4 in the race yesterday. And again, as Joe Gibbs said earlier in the show, he was touched with the outpouring of the support of the drivers, and a lot of guys don't like Busch, and they'll tell you that. And I don't know whether Keselowski reached out to him. That's probably the biggest rivalry as far as they don't like each other. But as Joe Gibbs said, and it's obvious, when you get into that situation, somebody got seriously hurt, I would think you would be man enough to put down the rivalries and say, look, no matter how bad we don't like each other, I'm going to call and check on him or stop by. And there, all three of those guys, or certainly Junior and Hamlin, sent a good wish and get well and good wishes out to Kyle Busch. And, again, one of the 43 drivers. It's like a little fraternity. They fight and squabble, but then when somebody gets hurt, they all kind of got your back and make sure you're okay. And so I thought that was a nice touch on behalf of those two drivers. We looked at go ahead.
You really think Junior felt heartfelt on that?
You didn't think so?
I think
so you don't like Junior?
I think he said what he had to say.
Okay.
Now just leave it at that.
Okay. So you don't think it was welcome wagons is like, okay, I covered my tail and said, hey, Kyle, we're thinking about you.
I mean, it was kind of a under his breath type thing. I'm sorry. Just me. Me.
Now, the guy you don't like, I got my list over here. You don't like Denny Hamlin. You don't like Earnhardt.
Well, I used to like Denny Hamlin until the way he treated Danica the other day, and that kind of turned me off on him. Now, he has redemptive qualities, so we'll see.
All right. Speaking of Danica, rolled off 20th, finished 21st. Of course, she finished on the lead lap, but, again, finished 21st. We talked about this last week. I think this is a big year for Danica Patrick. I know they've already indicated they want to keep rolling. Stewart-Haas Racing wants to keep up with the GoDaddy.com. She was asked over the weekend whether she'd be interested in going back to Formula One racing, and she said no because it would take me out of the country, out of the United States. I don't want to do that. She said, I'm going to stick in with NASCAR. So that tells me even if Stewart-Haas Racing does not pick her up next year, and there's no indication they won't, that somebody probably will because, hey, she brings notoriety to the team. And GoDaddy.com obviously is pleased with what she has done for them.
That's a big sponsor.
Big sponsor. So, anyway, finished 20th. In your humble opinion, is that a good – or actually 21st. Is that a good showing or not so good showing, 21st?
I think it was a decent showing for her. She actually ran better than most of the race. I mean, she was in the top 15. There late in the race, she was in the right there 10th, 9th, 10th, something like that. Just got bumped back to 21st there in the last few laps. But she finished on the lead lap, which is a big statement in and of itself. She struggled in the first couple years, making it to the distance, making it to the finish line on the lead lap.
And so they're moving. That's a good point. They're moving the race this week's race going to Atlanta. Now, they've been running typically after Bristol in late August, even in early September, but typically the last week of August. That's been moved. They've now moved it on a strategic move by NASCAR. The strategy being to keep the second race of the season in the South. Normally they've gone to Phoenix after the first week at Daytona. They're staying in the South, and so they'll be in Atlanta Motor Speedway this weekend. Of course, that's a Bruton track, and they'll get dialed in and get ready to go. Casey Kane, the defending champ of the race. Harvick was on the pole last year, and so they've moved. There's only one race now in Atlanta. Used to be a two. They took one away, and now they've moved it to the second race of the season. And they're going to do something also kind of unique on Saturday. They're going to have a doubleheader, the Xfinity race and the truck race on the same day. Yep. That's kind of new. Truck race hadn't been there since 2012, and so they're going to do that this weekend. And they'll drop the green flag right around 1 o'clock on Saturday. It's an interesting name, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow because it's all about our military. That's the Quick Trip Folds of Honor. Now, the Folds of Honor is an organization that helps raise scholarship money for student or for family members whose parents are serving in the military, may not have enough money to kind of get off to school. So the Quick Trip Folds of Honor 500 this coming Sunday in Atlanta. I think that's a nice touch, again, for the Folds of Honor, for them to pick it up as a sponsor of the race and give them a lot of notoriety. I'd never heard of that before. Had you?
No, never heard.
Yeah, Folds of Honor. It's a cool organization. We'll have more to say about that tomorrow and as the week moves on, getting closer to the race. Speaking of close to the race, before we go to the break, Rob Cole's joining us coming up next. Bristol Tix, TIX.com. 423 Bristol's the number to call. This is the ticket. Drew said, wear it out because folks are calling. 3 days in April. 2 days in August, 5 days of racing, the world's fastest half mile for a $149 ticket. They get you into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the spring. Of course, Friday and Saturday in the fall race at Bristol, and also get you access to the Battle of Bristol tickets. Only way you can get them right now is to get season tickets at Bristol, and that's to get the football game tickets for next September twixt Virginia Tech and UT. And also, we'll get you access to get a super pass for the spring race. If you missed it last week, the pre-race concert on Sunday, April the 19th, before the dropping of the green flag of the Food City 500, is the Old Crow Medicine Show, two-time Grammy Award-winning band. And so by getting this ticket, that'll put you a chance to get stage side there on the backstretch to see them up close and personal. Also get a walking tour, and also get a chance to be down there in and around the Food City 500 driver intros. So pretty cool opportunity. All that's for $149. Horace took off his shoes last week, the little cipher, and said 149 divided by 5. That's $30 a race. I mean, that's pretty, I mean, how can you beat that going to Bristol to
you
go
can't
see?
go to an NFL game. You can't
No.
go to a hockey game. You
No.
can't go to a baseball game.
No.
Well, some baseball games, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's the average. That's cheap.
Pole day on Friday, the Xfinity race on Saturday, Food City 500 on Sunday. In the spring and the fall, you've got the Food City 300 on Friday night, and, of course, Urban Tools Night Race on Saturday night. All that for a $149 ticket, guaranteed. Get your tickets to both the race. No-brainer in my book. BristolTix.com, or call them at 423-BRISTOL on your telephone keypad, and you can get your tickets now for, again, the tickets to the world's fastest half mile. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. Again, we appreciate you being with us. Day 11 on this Monday, Feb 23, as you are listening and watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
See what might be hiding in your coverage at farmers.com/gaps.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us again on this Monday, Feb 23. And again, hello to California, hello to Washington State. Where'd you say they were listening to us last week?
South Carolina, North Carolina.
South Carolina, North Carolina, of course, right around here in the Tri-Cities. Hello to Phil Hensley, the Johnson City Press. Charlie Morgan, basketball coach at Dobyns Minutes, one of our Facebook likes. So also Megan Carr from Kingsport, one of our Facebook likes. Thank you. So make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, Pete Tackett in Johnson City. Thank you, my friend. American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City. Thank you. Rob Cole, Bays Mountain Park's with us. Good afternoon, Hammer. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good afternoon, Big T. I'm not doing too bad. Just still enjoying a little bit of this white stuff on the ground here in Kingsport and staying warm.
Staying warm. Now, I don't know if we've ever talked about this over the years. Who's your favorite NASCAR driver? Or have you told me and I just forgotten?
You know, it used to be Dale Jarrett. Of course, that was a long time ago. Now I kind of take ways where I pull for different folks. You know, Logano, Keselowski, Kyle Busch. You know, these days I have to probably find myself pulling against drivers as much as I pull for a specific driver, but just a fan of the sport overall.
Well, who are you pulling against? Let's just put it out there on the table. Who are you pulling against right now? Who do you not like, I should say?
Well, right now I have to root against Harvick and Johnson. You know, those guys, they're, nothing bad. Certainly you're victims of your own success when you're at the top, particularly 5, 6 times, and then, of course, you tend to get names like the closer, like Harvick did, for good reason. So nothing against those guys. Just find myself pulling against them and rooting for other, probably not quite underdogs, but just for anybody else to win. I'm one of those guys that really, truly enjoys the parity.
There you go. Talking to Rob Cole from Base Mountain Park in Kingsport, $4 a carload. Park is open, and again, you've had a lot of snow. You've cleared the roads. Park is open. That's a good thing. And what can we come up there this time of year and enjoy as far as outdoor activities at the park?
I'll tell you what we're seeing a lot of people doing right now. Of course, we have just a few migratory birds here in the area, and of course those who overwinter here, and we're seeing quite a few folks come up and use this white stuff as the serving as a backdrop to be able to identify birds that ordinarily you can't see during the spring, summer, and fall. They're coming up and bringing cameras even. We're seeing folks come out there and just bringing their field guides and having a pretty good day with it, particularly once the temperatures warmed up the way they did, Friday afternoon, considering what we had earlier that morning and the day before. Really wasn't that bad. We're seeing quite a few folks out there, and that's always nice to see. Of course, we do have a lot of folks still getting out on the trails and hiking. Obviously this snow presents a little bit of an added challenge. It is a little bit tougher to walk in, so in terms of a workout, it's a little bit tougher. Ditto with mountain biking, but we haven't seen too many mountain bikers here over the past few days. They tend to, here of late, they tend to be allowing the trails to dry out a little bit before doing any riding. They certainly are mindful of protecting the conditions of the trails, so we appreciate that, of course. But this is a great time to be up there again. If you're not going to hike, it's a great time to be up there nature watching.
Talking to Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park, and the park is open. And again, tell us about the planetarium. Again, making the assumptions, folks out there listening, have never been to Bays Mountain Park. It's a really cool operation. Only $4 a carload to get in, and for that value, it is really a neat place to go. And tell us about the planetarium. It's inside. That's the state of the art and one of the best planetariums around the world. Tell me about that.
Oh, no doubt. Our planetarium is. We're tremendously blessed to have a planetarium the way we do. With the technology that we have, the scope of it is absolutely incredible. And kudos to our city leaders for providing us with such a resource. It literally is a 360-degree presentation. In other words, when you sit in the middle of our planetarium theater, you literally feel like you're immersed in the subject matter. For example, if we're exploring the planets, if you will, you'll literally feel like you're flying in space right by a planet or asteroid field or something along those lines. Fantastic technology. So always a good option during the winter. Even on a cold day, it can be enjoyed. And current show playing right now is a part of the sky called Orion, which is a show that we produced. Takes a look at, obviously, the constellation Orion as it was seen by 3 different cultures centuries ago, and how they interpreted the constellation. Obviously the myths and stories that started each one of those cultures. So Really neat show. This one is both educational and fun for everyone. And as with most shows, we did produce this one. Neat part about this show, however, is that we did partner with ETSU to produce the graphics, and further partnered with some folks in our own community to produce the voiceovers. So really neat show to be a part of. It was a lot of fun producing, and again, we think, obviously, a little biased, but we think it'll be a lot of fun for folks to view and enjoy.
Talked to Rob Coe, who's a big Cardinals fan. The Cardinals, are they in? What time? Well, not time. What day are they all to report in and be ready to go for spring training, or are they already there?
Well, yeah, most of their guys are already there, like a lot of teams. Most of the guys arrived a few days early, if not, in some cases, almost a week or two early. So luckily, our full squad is just about fully intact. I believe that the 25th was the day for all to report, but I couldn't be wrong about that. No, the 19th was the mandatory date for catchers and pitchers. It's exciting. I love this. You know, we're talking about spring training baseball. A little light stuff on the ground, nothing will get you quite as fired up about spring being just around the corner as talking about spring training baseball.
I think you're exactly right. And, of course, give me the hours you're open right now at Bays Mountain Park. It's only $4 a carload to get up there. And what are the hours, my friend?
Yeah, right now we're still in our winter hours, and, of course, that'll remain in place for roughly another week. And so this week, looking at Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. Sunday, again, will be open from noon until 5 p.m. Our Nature Center hours do differ on the weekends. Our Nature Center hours will be operating from noon until 5 p.m. this coming Saturday and Sunday.
Before I let you go, you're a baseball guy, obviously. The Red Sox signed this 19-year-old kid out of Cuba, Yoan Moncada, $30 million bonus for 19-year-old kids. I don't think, I'm going to double-check, I don't think he shagged the first ground ball yet for the Red Sox, or he's a defector from Cuba, and he's 19 years old, and they're going to sign him to a $30 million bonus. And your thoughts would be on that as to what?
I'm going to guess, like a lot of teenagers, he's already got an Xbox PlayStation, so I don't guess that'll be a big purchase right off the bat. Oh, well, you know what? This is, isn't this the market of baseball now? It's an interesting game. There have been some other, obviously, high-profile bidding wars for foreign players, and now that the Cuban market is back open again, that's going to make, I'm guessing we'll see this on a little bit more frequent basis. I personally think that's ridiculous money, but, your large market teams like the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, they're going to go after that type of player, and they're going to do it regardless of what they have to do to get them. And so, hey, good for a young man to go from Cuba all of a sudden be a millionaire like he's going to be. Hey, nothing else to give you some fine example of upward mobility. Maybe not a good one, but at least an example nonetheless. Hey, by the way, you are a Kyle Busch fan, right?
Yes, very much so.
So how did you feel when NASCAR's Steve O'Donnell sat beside Joey Chitwood the other night and said, in the light of the wreck that Kyle Busch was in and the damage that was done, that he still made the statement that safety was the number one priority for NASCAR? That tweaked you a little bit?
Tweaked me a whole lot, because Horace and I have talked about this earlier in the show. I don't think this guy will come back 100%. Tony Stewart hasn't. It's the same kind of, broken compound fracture of his leg. So, and his foot, they haven't even started talking about his foot. We had Joe Gibbs on earlier in the show. They're going to wait to get back to Charlotte, take a look at his left foot, because he just had it operated on in December. So I see Kyle Busch's ability to make a living as a NASCAR driver being diminished somewhat going forward because of the lack of safety at Daytona. So I don't know whether Joe Gibbs would, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a lawsuit flying on behalf of Kyle Busch Enterprises or Incorporated, because it may knock this guy out of making a living like he used to.
Absolutely. couldn't help but think after he made that statement, the more I thought about it, maybe he should have amended that statement to say safety is priority number one, except when it begins to hurt our wallet. You know, those things should have already been in place, especially at a place like Daytona where, you know, you've got a number of wrecks that take place during the course of that event. Sometimes, as we call it, the big one, cars go spinning out of control at sometimes nearly 200 miles an hour. That was embarrassing. I thought that was not one of NASCAR's finer moments. I don't know. That one kind of bothered me a little bit. I was shocked that like some of the drivers, I was shocked that there were any walls there that were not protected with safe barriers of all the tracks. Disappointed in that one.
I'm a huge fan of Rick.
That said, here's an opportunity for NASCAR to do like they did in the wake of the Dale Earnhardt, Adam Petty death, and put their best foot forward.
I'm a huge fan of Ricky Craven, the analyst. He said, they asked him the same question. He said, I've done both. I've hit a wall with a safer barrier in it. I've hit a wall earlier in my career that didn't have the safer barrier. He said, there's no reason, the kind of money NASCAR is making on the television rights, there's no reason why any track should not have a safer barrier up and all the walls covered. I know they do at Bristol, and so and I agree with him. And I think there's no excuse, even as far away that wall was from the track, going 190, 200 miles an hour, you're not guaranteed where that car is going to go. And even Ricky Craven said when it gets on grass, it's like being on ice. The driver's just long for the ride. They've lost all control when it hits the grass. And he said there's been talk even amongst the drivers to eliminate the grass on the big tracks simply because of what happened to Kyle Busch. So in answer to your question, yes, every track should be as safe as possible with these drivers. And I would think Kyle Busch will have something to say about it, especially if it, as I said, diminishes his chance to make a living the way he used to, because I don't think he's going to come back as the same driver. I don't see how he could after what happened to his legs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real shame. I hate that, consistently tending to be in a reactionary mode when it comes to that type of safety protocol. One would have thought that the death we suffered with Adam Petty and Dale Earnhardt would have been enough. Seemed like the message would have been well received then. I would have thought losing your sport's biggest star would have been enough to say cost containment be done with.
Especially at that track.
We're losing our brand, our identity. So we're disappointed in that.
There you go. Well, I've got your phone number. If they call me looking for a substitute driver, I can tell them Cole. Call Cole. He's ready to go.
Hey, I can put it on 2 wheels faster than anybody and probably out of the race as fast as anybody.
Rob Cole, great report, my friend. Stay warm. I'll talk to you next Monday, all right?
Look forward to it, Big Ten. Take care.
Yeah, good man right there, buddy. Rob Cole from Bays Mountain Park. And I was disappointed, extremely disappointed. And you and I talked about this off air. Yep. There's no reason any track in NASCAR, with the kind of money they've got, it's going to cost a lot of money. But as you said earlier, I think it was $800 a foot now to fix that wall at Daytona. It's going to cost them a whole lot more than that, I'm afraid, before it's all said and done. So I don't know whether Gibbs can sue them. I don't know whether Kyle Busch will sue them. But there's certainly cause for somebody to tap NASCAR on the shoulder and go, boys and ladies, you didn't do good here. This guy is mangled, and do you think he'll come back the way he was? I mean, he can't come back the way he was. Anytime you're in an accident, you're just not the same.
Well, you say that. Now, physically, no. Mentally, he'll be back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but physically, it's I know my leg would never be the same.
Well, let me just say this. I went sled riding the other day with the girls, and I thought, I got up off that sled about the 3rd time. I thought, cowboy, you ain't 35 anymore. So what my body says up here, mentally, I was ready to go sled riding. And then when I got up, my knees were like a bowl of Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, pop. So, what you think up here and what the body says is 2 different things. But I just don't see how he can. And I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. But, again, going forward, NASCAR ought to make sure every track before they even get there to put the first wheels on the pavement, everything is covered on the safer barrier. That's only fair to the drivers. I mean, that's the least you can do for them. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got more coming. It's a Monday edition on day number 11 of the show. We're in its infancy, only day number 11. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and we thank you for that very, very much. And even already got folks sending me emails saying, when can we get on the show? We like that as well. We'll come back with more on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that it's smart to replace washing machine hoses every 5 years? What if you didn't know that you might need extra coverage for more expensive items? And what if you didn't know that teen drivers are 4 times more likely to get into an accident? So, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, make sure you like us on Facebook at facebook.com, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. Today is Dollar Pizza Slice Day.
Woo! Why am I not there?
Yeah, it's not a slice, it's a slab. Oh. Let me just say that I've been told we need to bring Horace to Vito's, so he, I guess I'll sit out in the car, he can enjoy, it's like Mr. Haney, Mr. Douglas. So he can enjoy. You got to bring Horace over there to Vito's. Let him enjoy the food. I said, okay. Well, I mean, what am I? Chopped liver?
They got any diet pizza?
No diet pizza. They got great pizza though. So it's $1 a slice pizza today, all day long. Again at Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. One of our great sponsors. Again, Rich will be with us tomorrow. I'll be asking the question of the quiz show, and tomorrow is Tuesday. So what's the special tomorrow? Kids eat free on Tuesdays all day long.
Well, that's good.
At Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport. And
we need to get his logo so I can put it up on the screen.
We need to get his logo. You're exactly right. I got to get that. I got to get several logos. Folks are coming on board, and we appreciate that. Again, our thought for the day from Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance: failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Love that. Good job. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And so that's the thought for the day from our buddy Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance at 282-1389, home of the Nationwide Insurance Identity Theft Program, where you can have a separate, buy it separately or add to the homeowner policy. I think I told you earlier, I think this is really neat. If it happens under the watch of Nationwide, which they put checkpoints in positions so it wouldn't happen, but if it does, you are assigned a dedicated recovery specialist working 24/7 from Nationwide to assist you in all phases of the recovery process. This includes an accredited doctor or nurse to help you untangle consequences of medical identity theft, which apparently is a major problem in this country. And so, but Nationwide says, hey, we normally don't even get to that point. We have things or systems in place, I should say. Back to the thought for the day. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Well, they have systems in place that won't fail. And so give him a call, 282-1389, or email him at Kaiser, Kiserl, at nationwide.com. He brings you the thought for the day, and so he can give you the information that you need. and get you set up and ready to go from Nationwide. Because Nationwide is what? On
your side.
There you go.
A-Rod.
Report.
That's Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Do it again.
You didn't see the commercials there in football?
Yes, but I've never heard you do this. There's things I've learned about my partner here that I'm thinking, really? Okay. Can you do that one more time? Do it.
No.
Your forehead's got banged out.
No.
You've embarrassed
I
yourself.
gave it twice. You didn't catch it up, so sorry.
Twice is it.
That's it.
A-Rod reporting today, 3 days ahead of schedule
Yeah.
in the Yankee camp. Arrived in a Miami sweatsuit, University of Miami sweatsuit.
That gets me all excited.
Now, all right, I'm sorry. Why would you not show up? And I know I'm being picky and nitpicky and petty, but why would you not show up and something had Yankees on it? I mean, after
I'm telling you,
it's like,
don't get me on my soapbox on A-Rod. I'm sorry.
I mean,
it's
no
all
big,
about the money.
I know,
period.
but it's no big deal, Tom. Let him show up when he wants to. But if I'm coming in, well, here I am. I'm the track announcer of the Speedway. What do I got on?
We got Bristol Motor Speedway hat.
Out of loyalty to the company,
Yeah.
absolutely. I guess it's okay, but I would have thought he'd walked in with a Yankees T-shirt on, a Yankees hat or something. But, again, maybe I'm splitting hairs and being picky. But, anyway, he showed up at the Yankees camp 3 days ahead of schedule, ready to go. And so he's suspended for violation of baseball's drug agreement and labor contract. Of course, the drug agreement is in place. Rodriguez apologized to team officials during a meeting back on February the 10th and to fans in a statement last week. The three-time American League MVP has not spoken publicly about his actions that led to the suspension. Is this guy a Hall of Famer? Do you vote him in?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
He will be, but I won't.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a choice, I'd vote no.
What about Jeter? Would you put him in?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, totally different guy,
I mean,
apparently.
you're cutting apples and oranges there.
Yeah, apparently
I mean,
totally
Jeter's
different.
180 degrees compared to what A-Rod. I mean, they may both be talented athletically, but as far as carrying himself as a person and as a man, Jeter's got him beat 10-1.
It's all on how you conduct yourself off the field. All right, let's run them down for you one more time. We're out of the time, man. It's been a fast 2 hours. We thank you for joining us. Man, oh, man, it's flown by. We've heard from Joey Logano, Joe Gibbs, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Denny Hamlin, also Bill Francis, the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indian head basketball coach, Rob Cole a few minutes ago from Bays Mountain Park, Dave Ongie, our NASCAR beat writer from the Kingsport Times-News. Gator had stupid questions today, so I didn't go. I went 4 for 5.
You didn't win.
Didn't win. But I did get the fact that skunks eat
bees.
There are animals that eat bees and skunks. Of course, your dog, TiVo, eats bees too, right?
He chases them all out all summer long.
Does he get them?
He catches them.
He catches them, eats bees.
Yeah.
The one I missed, I went 4 for 5. What's the most visited city in the country? I said New York City, and, of course,
Vegas, baby.
He with glee said, no, it's Vegas. So, anyway, I went 4 for 5 for Phil Hensley, who's one of our Facebook friends at John City Press. By the way, Facebook us and tell us you like us at facebook.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Yeah, it's just Tom Taylor Sports Show on Facebook.
Oh, Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Yeah.
Not the.
Well, as far as the website link.
Facebook.com, you're right, Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Yeah.
And make a notation to that right there. Let's get that off so we don't say the.
It is the Tom Taylor Sports Show,
What?
and it will show up says the Tom Taylor Sports Show on the Facebook page, but the web address is facebook.com.
So am I saying it right? Facebook.com /
Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Okay, that's what I want to know. That's what I want them to know that. So that's all they need. Facebook.com / Tom Taylor Sports Show.
You got it.
All right. Whoo!
Now everything else, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn,
YouTube,
the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Livestream.com.
Yeah, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Where we are right now.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Before we get out of here, we're about out of time. Let me run down for you again tonight. These games are on the AAA regional quarterfinals for the ladies. Dobyns Bennett at Jefferson County. David Crockett's Lady Pioneers at Morristown West. Tennessee High home again in Viking Hall to Morristown East. Again, the South Doyle Science Hill game canceled tonight to tomorrow night because South Doyle's out of school today. And maybe some of these others are canceled too. But as far as I've been told today, everything is on. The Region 1 AA quarterfinals, Claiborne at Elizabethton tonight. Unicoi County on the road to Chucky Doak. Happy Valley's ladies at Granger. And also Sullivan East hosting Greenville. The boys are tomorrow night. And in single A ladies, Hancock County at South Green. Cloudland plays tonight at Northview Academy. Cosby hosting North Green's ladies. And the Hampton Lady Bulldogs will be hosting Washburn tonight. Again, single elimination, one and done. If you don't get her done tonight, your season is over for 2014 and 15. And so is our show here on this Monday. Again, Feb 23, day number 11 of the books. Show brought to you by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance, Max Medicine Mart, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, Vito's on Main Street in Kingsport, by the Cherokee Barbershop, the home of the Gator Man, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, and by Wells Fargo Team in Kingsport of Greg Taylor, Jeff Bedford, Tim Colvin, and Natalie Wells. Appreciate those kids very, very much. Horace, quick show. Good show. Thank you, my friend.
Zip, zip.
Zip, zip, zip. Back at it tomorrow. South Carolina, UT. Who do you like tonight? Lady Vols?
Lady Vols.
Gamecocks?
Yeah, Lady Vols.
Go Lady Vols. Yep. Like to see them do it. Out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Back at it tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Come back and join us. See you then. Thanks for being part of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And remember, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.